Hello friends, how are you? In this video, we'll discuss about module in Python. Okay, so we'll discuss very basics about the module. So what is module? A module is a collection of functions, variables and classes saved in a single file. Every Python file can be served as a module. So what is a module? Module is a collection of functions, collection of functions, variables and classes. Say the name is say program1.py. Okay, so what is a module? Module is a collection of functions, variables, and classes. Okay, now the question is why should you use module? Actually, suppose uh, one file is there. The name of that file is p1.py. Okay, another file is there, say p2.py. Suppose we want to use functions and variables which are defined in Python 1. So if you want in program 2, so in program 2, suppose we want to access the functions and variables and classes of program 1. So we have to import this one. So you have to write import p1. Now this p1 is nothing but a module. Okay, so p1 we just access this p1 content with in p2 with the help of this import p1. Now p1 is act as a module. Okay, so why should we apply module? Suppose a big project is there. Okay, we just divide this into small module. Say p1.py, p2.py, p3.py, p4.py. Okay, and suppose this one is the main function. So here we import all the modules p1, p2, p3, p4, and we can access the content of this particular module. So if a project is very large and if you do like this way, we can break it. If you break it like this way, easily we can handle it. So a small code portion is there. So easily we can identify the error. Easily we can identify we can debug the programs. Okay, suppose you want to change this particular content. So nobody you can change it. We can change that particular part and we can renaming this or we can change the whole part of that. That will not affect the other part of the module. That will not affect the other modules. Okay, so if a project is very big, okay, in that case we can what we can do, we just divide that project into small programs, and a main program we can import those modules to form the big project or to execute the big project. So how to do this one? So we can see here there is a function, there is a Python program. Say name is the my module.py. In that particular module, here we can see better to okay. So we can see here data 1 contains module, data 2 contains 3.14. Two functions are there, add and product. So in add, we just add these two values. In product, we multiply these two variables. Add x plus y and product x into y. So two functions are there and two variables are there. Okay, you can see here. You can see here. There is a function. There is a function called my module.py. Okay, so you can if you click it, we can get this output. So we can see here. We can see here data 1 contains module, data 2 contains 3.14. One function is there, that is addition of two number. Another function is there product, that it prints the multiplication of two variables x and y. Okay, so this is what our we can save it. Now this is what our my module.py, which is already present, and here we want to access it. Okay, here we want to access it, so we have to write import my module. Okay, now if you now that means what we have imported, now we can use it. Are you getting my point? Now see what we can do. Better to write like this way. Suppose it is not there, and restart the kernel. restart it and restart the kernel. Okay. Now if we execute it, we'll receive one error that my module is not defined. Why it is why it gives the error? Because we didn't import it. Once we have imported, we can use it. Now suppose we have imported and we can run it. After that we can run it, then we can get the output. Is it okay? So first of all we have to import it. After import, to access the variables as well as the functions, we can use the file name to access. Suppose we want to access data1, so we have to write my module dot data1, my module dot data2. We want to access add and product, my module dot add, my module dot product. Okay, so data1 is what? Module data2 contains 3.14. 10 plus 2 summation is what? 12. Then 10 plus 2 summation is what? 12. 10 into 2 multiplication is what? 20. And if you change it, we can get different answer. Suppose instead of 10, it is say 22, 8 is say 7. So 10 plus 7 is what? 10 plus 7 is, it is 17. And 10 into 20, 10 into 22 is what? It is 220. Okay, is it okay? So that my module is already present in there, in the computer, in that particular directory. So my module dot py is there, already present. Okay, so this one is already present. You can see here my module is already present. So in module here we import my module. We can see here here we import my module, and then we can access the content of the my module using like this way. Okay, so my module is already there. Okay, it is small, and we can, if you want to access it here in this particular program, so you have to write import my module. No need to give dot file like this way, and then we can access the content, say data1, data2, function1, function2. Suppose we want to access it, so we have to write my module dot function1, my module dot function2, and so on. Okay, another concept is a module renaming. What is module renaming? So module renaming is what? Suppose a function is there, a module name is there, it's a too big. So if so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters are there, 10 characters are there. So every time if you want to access that particular content of that module, you have to write like this way, my module dot data one, my module dot data two, and so on. So we can make it simple. So we can define alias name. So my module as TA. So TA is nothing but now my module. So to access the content of the my module, we can write like this way, TA dot data one, TA dot data two, TA dot add, TA dot product, and so on. Okay. Now do one thing. Please do yourself. You can see reference is 11. You just once again you can you write here print module dot data two. Since here we are using ta dot data two. Can you use module my module dot data two or my module dot add after defining the alias name? You just do yourself, and in comments box they see, please tell your answer. Please give your answer whether you can do or not. Next, you can see here to access the content of the variable data1 and data2 or the functions add and product. Every time we have to mention the function name. We have to mention the module name. Question is, can we use directly data1? Can we use data1 directly? Can you use data1 directly? So if you use data1 directly, it will give an error message that there is a problem. Are you getting? So we cannot use this one. So if you print it, you will give the error message that the name data1 is not defined. So to access that particular variable data1, we have to mention the module name. Otherwise, we cannot access it. Okay. So to do this one, instead of writing import module name, my module, we have to write from module name import what. So if you want to access directly data1 and product, we have to write like this way: from my module import data1 and data2. So we don't need to module name to access the members. So we want directly we can access data1, directly we can use product. Here we no need to mention my module dot data1, my module dot product. It is not required because we have used this particular syntax from my module import. Already we have imported data1 and product. So once you have imported directly from that module, my module, we can use it. So if you run it, we can get the result. The content of the data1 is what? Module, and product 3 into 5 is what? It is 15. Achha. Question is, can you access data 2? Here we didn't import data 2. No, we can't access. Data 2 is not defined. So to access this particular variable or the functions, we have to import first. Then and only we can use it. So if you mention data 2 and if you run it, now it is okay. You can do it. Okay. So to access the content of that particular module, we have to access first. We have to import first. Then we can use it. One more thing. Now, suppose here the name is my module. Okay. Another file is there, say m1.py. Here it is also py. And in another file m2.py, we import my module, or we have to write like this way. It is not the correct way of writing. If you write like this way, from my module import data1 from m1.py import data1, and then if you print data1, so it will print what? This data1 or that data1? Okay, so you just do yourself. Is it okay? Are you getting my questions? 13, you just mentioned 13, and in description box give your answer. Are you getting my point? Suppose one file is there, its name is p1.py. Here one variable is there. Now suppose we have imported say from p1 import a, and if you mention print a, suppose here it is 10, the output will be what? It is 10. It will give output 10. Now another file, it is okay, no problem, that we can do. Suppose another point p2.py is there, and here variable a is there, and here the content is 30. Now we have import p2 also. From p2 import a. Now if you execute print a, so it will print what? 10 or 20, 30. Is it okay? So please in comment section give your comment, leave your comments whether it is possible or not, or how it is possible, how to do this one. Now, so here every time we have to access, you have to mention directly data1 product. Now suppose we want everything. So in that case, we have to apply asterisk. So from module import asterisk. That means what? We need to access all the members as well as variables present in this particular, all the functions, variable classes, whatever will be there, we need. So in that case, we have to write import asterisk. That means what? No need to mention explicitly. So here you can see print data1 is there, print data2, it is 3.4, product 5 into 13, it is 65, addition of 3 into 3 plus 51, it is 54. So if it is 30, now if you change it, so 51 plus 30, now it is 64. Okay, so in this way, by applying asterisk, we can import all the members of a module. But if you need one or two, in that case, we can mention the members name. So different ways are there. We can do this one. So import module name we have seen. Now more than one modules we want to access. So we can write import module X, module Y, module Z. We can renaming the module. We have already seen module underscore name as AC. Okay. Import module name 1 as M1. Import module 2 as module underscore name 2 as M2. Module underscore name 3. So module underscore name 1 and module underscore name 2 contains, it have the the renamings are there. Okay, alias names are there, M1 and M for the module underscore name 1 and module underscore name 2 respectively. But for module underscore name 3, it doesn't have any alias name. Now similarly, we can access the variable. So from module import member, okay, and we want to access all. So in that case, from module import asterisk, from module import. Now we can mention like this way: from module import member underscore 1, members underscore 2, member underscore 3. Okay, or we can rename the member also. So member underscore 1 as my name. This is renaming the member also. So here we are renaming the module name, and here we are renaming the member name. Member name means what? It may be the variable, it may be the function, whatever may be. Okay.
Okay. Now here discuss about the finding number of modules, functions and variables. Okay. So we can write print dir. So in that particular directory, how many files are there, how many variables are there? It displays all the files, folders, variables. Similarly, in my module, we can write print dir my module. We identify number of variables, number of functions available. Okay, in this particular module. So we can see here, we can see my module. In my module, we see that two variables are there, data1 and data2, and two functions are there, add and product. Okay, so if you use help print dir my module, we identify the variables and function. Similarly, we can see some other variables are also there, inbuilt variables are there. Okay, like built-in, cache, doc, file, loader, name, package. Okay, but in this particular video we'll concentrate on name variable. Okay, we will see the purpose of name variable or use of that particular name variable.
Okay, now we discuss the special variable called name. Special variable called name. Okay, a specific variable called name is introduced to every Python application. Here, name variable holds information about whether the program is run as a standalone program or directly or as a module. In other words, name variable tells us whether the program was run directly or as a module. Okay. If the program was run as a standalone program, the value of this variable would be main. Otherwise, the value of this variable is the name of the module where it is declared if the program is run as a module from another program. Okay, so we can see this particular example now. Suppose here one program is there that is called file A, and here one variable name is there, name. Okay, so if you execute this particular program, the output will be what? Output will be main. Output will be main. Okay, so one file is there and the variable is their name, and if you display this particular variable for that particular A, it will give the output B. Now suppose B file is there. Okay, and if you import A, Okay, and if you execute name for both the files A and B, for this name output will be main, and for this name output will be the file name A. Okay, so we can see the example. Here we can see two files are there, file A and file B. So in file A, one line is there, that is display the file name. Okay, and if the name is equal to main, so the output will be what? File A is being run directly. Else file A is being imported. That we can do. Now file A name is equal to main, file A is being run directly. Now okay, so suppose if you execute this one, so if you execute file A name is equal to main, that means what is the output of this? It is a main. And since it is that if condition is satisfied, hence it displays file A is being run directly. Okay. Now here we can import the where you can import the file A. So if you import the file A, that means we want to execute this one. So here in file B, you can see the file B is also there. Achha, one more thing. File A is already there in a .py, file A.py, which is already present in the directory. Okay, so from that directory we have to import. Okay, so if you import it, so we have to write import file A. Then for file B, we execute the name, we display the content of the name, and if it is satisfied, if it is equal to main, that means file B is run directly. Otherwise, file B is being imported. So if you execute this, you can see here, if you execute it, or better to restart both the things. Okay, and if you execute it, it's okay. And if you execute it, we can see here import file A. That means what? We're executing this file A, this one. Okay, we need this particular file A. It is executing file A. Inside file B, we have to execute file A inside file B. Okay, now for this import, for this particular line, it will display the content of the name as well as it will check the condition. So for this name, display the content of the name. So the content of the name is what? It is file A. Now it is file, it is not main. That means what? That means what? File is being imported because it is name is not main. Okay, so file is being imported, but for this particular file B, the display of the name, the content of the name is what? The content of the name is main. And if it is satisfied, that means what? It will print file B is being run directly. Okay, so this is what the importance of the name variable. Next, a list of all built-in modules. So if you execute this one, it will take time. If you execute this one, you'll get the list of all variables. Few important built-in modules are there. Say random, maths, date time. Okay, so if you want to access the random, and all the components of the random, to write likewise from random import asterisk. So we can use random, randit, uniform directly 2 times. So random is what? Integer values between the range 0 to 1, less than 1 but greater than 0. Rand in integer value in between 1 and 10, less than equal to 10, greater than equal to 1. Uniform, it will print the floating point values. The value should be what? Less than 10 but greater than 1. So first time the output is what? Random output. First time, this is the first time output, the second time output. So as many time we can execute it. Similarly, choice function is there. So that is already there in the random. So from random import, so this is the list. From the list we can select our choice. Suppose we want three elements randomly. Okay, that means what, we can execute it. Now we can get black, orange, black. If you execute once again, now black, orange, black, green, green, blue, green, red, green, blue, black, blue, blue, black, blue, red, black, blue, and so on. Now here we can see here, here we put, we can shuffle the, or we can put some weights. So 4 1 1, suppose we need 7 elements from this list, and we put 4 1 means what, fourth important, okay, fourth time important than the others. So if you execute it, we can see here, out of 7 elements, reds are very high. So 6 elements are red because the importance is high. Now suppose we change, if we execute, if we re-execute it, we can see now the content is different. If you re-execute it, now the content is different. Now suppose here if you change it, now instead of it is 2 and say it is 10, that means we give more importance to blue. Now we can see here how many blues are there. 1 2 3 4 blues are there. How many blues are there? 1 2 3 4 blues are there. Similarly, shuffling is also there. A list is there, and we can shuffle it and we can print it. We can shuffle it and we can print it. And if you execute it, okay. So this is what the original list. It will print original list and shuffle list. So we are shuffling the list 2 times. And if you execute it, we can see original list is this one. So after shuffle, this one after shuffle. Now you can see these two are the different content. Math module is there. So already you know math module is there. So we can apply SQRT, factorial. So from math import, that means what, we need every module. And how many modules are there? In that case, we have to write this one. We have to execute health math. And if you execute it, we can get the list of available functions. Okay, so the list of available functions are there. Fabs, factorial, floor. Okay. These are the available functions that we can power, sine, tan.